What's up everybody, I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to cover how you can save up to $11,000 on purchasing your new Tesla, whether it be a Model Y, Model 3, Model X, whichever the ones you choose, you can save up to $11,000. For those of you who were waiting for a video about how I was going to charge my car living in an apartment, I decided to make this video first because this video I think is a little bit more important in how I can get people to save a lot of money if they are not aware of how to do so. But don't worry, that's going to be my next video about how you can charge your car when you live in an apartment, and if you're interested in that, I would suggest watching my next one when I make it in a couple of weeks. But with that, let's get into today's video about how you can save up to $11,000. And so for those of you who may or may not know, right now to buy an electric vehicle, there are a lot of state and federal incentives. So for example, in Colorado, when you purchase a vehicle, you get a $4,000 tax credit off of that, and a $2,000 tax credit if you lease one. In Connecticut, if you get one you can get a $1,500 rebate for new vehicles under a $42,000 price range. So as you can see, the incentives vary depending on the state, but in particular, I'm going to be talking about California because that's where I live. But if you do live in one of those other states, I would highly suggest looking at all the incentives that can come up, even just not on this webpage. You can join a Facebook group. I'm sure that there are many Facebook groups for Tesla owners, and they always post, for example, I'm in one here for the San Diego area, and they always are posting about different incentives that sometimes aren't registered on the Tesla page. For example, in San Diego, our electric carrying company is called SDGE, and they are also offering incentives off your electricity if you purchase a Tesla vehicle. But even if you don't have that carrier, they will also still give you some incentive. I'm still currently waiting for my incentive, so I can't really speak as to how much money they give you back, but that is something to keep in mind and potentially a reason to be on the lookout for some of those forums or group pages so that you can join and see what other incentives there are that aren't listed on the Tesla webpage. Okay, so now let's break down the Tesla incentive for California specifically. So California has this thing where you can get up to $2,000 or $4,500 off your Tesla. So the way that you can get $2,000 or $4,500 back depending on your income is through the way of a rebate. So California offers two different classes of ways to get a deduction from your electrical vehicle purchase. You can get it in the form of a rebate or a grant, but this is very important that you know when and how to fill out these applications. So for the rebate, you get it as any other rebate after you already purchased the vehicle. When you purchase the vehicle, you go and you get your VIN and you get all your vehicle information, and then you apply, and depending on your income, that will vary how much money you get back. So for example, in my case, I got $2,000 back. It may vary, it may be more up to that $4,500 depending on what your income is. But if you go to their web page, you can see the income requirements and the income eligibility. So for example, if you have a household size of one person, the income must be less than 38,280, and moving on through another number, if you have a household of 5, you have to get less than $92,040. These numbers, keep in mind, are just to get the bare minimum. It doesn't say if you will get the $2,000 or the $4,500 back. I'm sure there are some other factors that go into play when considering how much money you get back. But like I said, I got back $2,000, which was still a good sizable amount. I would have loved to get the $4,500 back, but $2,000, I am not complaining. So like I said, for the rebate, all in all, it comes into play after you've already purchased the vehicle. You go into this clean vehicle rebate project and you put in your couple of different information, and it will take it took me about a month to get the paycheck, and it comes in the mail and it's mailed out to whoever fills out the application. And then, yeah, you can go ahead and deposit that money, and that money is yours to keep. I think there are some limitations to this money so that you are incentivized to keep it. So I believe that you cannot sell the car within a certain time frame, and that's obviously just put into place so that somebody doesn't buy a car and then sell it right away to get that $2,000. So it's some stuff like that that you have to that kind of comes with the money that you have to be on the lookout for. So far I've talked about the California rebate project. And now we're going to go talk about the grant. The grant in itself is a little bit of a different process. I would say if you're interested in buying a Tesla, do the grant application now. The grant application, it has been quite impacted due to COVID and possibly due to so many people applying. So it can take up to 3 months. It took me about 3 months and a couple weeks, maybe 1 or 2 weeks additional, to get a response from them telling me that I am eligible. But by that time, I unfortunately had already purchased the vehicle, so I was not able to get that $5,000 off. Of course, I was very upset when I did not get the $5,000 off, but unfortunately, I just needed the vehicle at that moment because I was, if you've watched my other videos, you've noticed how I travel back and forth to school a lot, and it's just a car we needed right now, so I was not able to wait. But I would have loved to have been able to wait for that $5,000. But this, I'm telling you this now so that you guys can go ahead and fill that application out now so that you can hear back before you purchase your vehicle. Because the way this grant works is that this money is given in the form of a down payment. So when you are accepted after 3 months to 3 months and a half about, they tell you that you can go ahead and purchase your vehicle and that they will send you a check. This check, once it comes through the mail, you have to deliver it to Tesla or tell Tesla that you're going to use it as a form of a down payment, because this grant can only be used as a down payment. So that means that after you purchase the vehicle, you're not able to apply it afterwards. So because I had already bought the vehicle, even though I was accepted to the grant, I can't apply that money after I already have the vehicle. And they consider you already owning the vehicle once you get your registration from the DMV. So as soon as you get your registration from the DMV, you are no longer able to use that grant even if you are accepted for it. For this grant, the income eligibility is pretty much about the same as for the rebate. Then I remember the numbers being very similar in terms of how much you can make to get this money. So that in itself, if you are eligible for the rebate, you should be eligible for the grant as well. So that was the rebate and the grant. And up to a couple of weeks ago, the state of California introduced this other incentive, and that is $1,500 off any purchase of an electric vehicle. So of course this applies to Tesla, and it is another huge reason why you should actually purchase the car. So if you add up all the incentives, it is $1,500 for the new California electric vehicle purchase that you get off. It is up to $4,500 off for the rebate, and it is up to $5,000 off for the grant, which adds up to a total of $11,000. This is a huge amount of money that you can get off of your car. Of course, the car is $48,000 if you buy the long range Model Y, and depending on different models, they are obviously all at different prices, but $11,000 is a huge bonus as to why you should actually update to an electric vehicle. Because if, say, you buy the Model Y for $48,000, which adds up to around maybe $52,000 with tax, if you subtract $11,000 from $52,000, that will give you around $41,000 to buy this car. So I think there's no better time to buy a Tesla than right now. And of course, if you're interested in a Model Y, then you would know that they just made the change from a 2020 Model Y to a 2021 Model Y. The difference isn't that huge. I don't really think there is a big difference between the two models except the year behind it, but maybe that is a reason why you should buy the car now as well on top of the $11,000. I'm not sure, but yeah, so that's something to keep in mind. I just wanted to make one note after saying all this, that just because you can get $11,000 off and you meet that income eligibility doesn't mean that you shouldn't be buying the car. I've heard that some people are like, oh, if you can get all this money off of the car and your income is that low, maybe you shouldn't be buying the car in the first place. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to say what you can and can't afford. Everybody's case is different. Maybe it's because you made some really good investments. Maybe it's because you got some money handed down to you, whatever the reason. If you meet that income eligibility requirement for these incentives, I think you should definitely take it and should definitely try to make the upgrade to an electric vehicle, especially in California when they're going to make the jump from gasoline-powered cars to electric vehicles by 2030. One final note I wanted to make. on top of the $11,000 incentives that they currently have, is that I would highly suggest purchasing the vehicle instead of leasing the vehicle. The reason being is because Tesla, of course, wants you potentially to lease the vehicle, and that's why some of their vehicle leases are so cheap. In fact, after you lease the vehicle and after your lease is up, they plan to take these cars back and use them as their robo-taxis. So basically, you're paying them so that they can lend you the vehicle, and then they're just going to get it back and end up getting more money off of that vehicle regardless. So to them, it doesn't really matter. Another reason you shouldn't lease the vehicle is because right now a lot of these states have incentives to actually purchase the vehicle. For example, here in California, there are no incentives currently to lease the vehicle in comparison to the incentives I just told you about, which was to purchase the vehicle for $11,000 off. So I don't see why you should lease the vehicle instead of purchasing it, unless you are that person that does not at all want to deal with selling the car or just likes a car for a couple of years and that's it. Then maybe I guess it can still be worth it to lease it. But in my case, I know I would rather purchase a vehicle, get that $11,000 off. So that's just something to keep in mind. Like I said, the decision, of course, in the end is your decision to make. But I just wanted to let you guys know that there are some serious purchase incentives out there. If you found any use in this video, I would really appreciate it. Thumbs up, tell your friends about it. Leave a comment for me to read. I like to read those and like to just reply to people that are super excited to get their Teslas. And let me know what you guys want to listen to or what you guys want to watch, and I will try to make a video about that. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. Appreciate it.